So I'm going to try to do this. All right, so I'm going to try to do this one more time. This is basically going to be a quick overview of what we're calling fake company. And those of you who will read into the emails will know where all this evolved from. But we're basically going to go through our ratios that we've looked at in lecture 1 and do them right here, right? So let me just go ahead and delete all these. We'll try to get through profitability ratios in this video, and then I'm going to go back and do some more videos on the others because of time. So first let's just do the 1-year growth rate. And I'm going to go pretty fast, but you can pause and go back and rewind. So this is purely a video on how to calculate them, right? So 1-year growth rate in sales, we're just going to take 2007 divided by 2006. And then we're going to minus 1, right? It gives us 5%. Now note, I have already in most of these cells put this into a percentage format. And I've also already added in the decimal place to the right. Okay, now the next one is compound annual growth rate. It's a little bit complex to some people, but over here I have a cheat sheet for you, right? So all you have to do is go ahead and look for what that is. So we're going to say in 2004 to 2007, we want to know what the compound annual growth rate is of sales. That's what the formula is asking. So we take the current year, right, in 2007, and we're going to divide that by the first year, right? Let me put another little bracket here. And then we're going to raise that to the power of 1 divided by, and then the number of periods. So it's 2004 to 2007, that's 1, 2, 3 years, right? So 1 divided by 3. And then we're just going to subtract by 1 again. And we can see it's a 1.4% growth rate over the last 4 years, or 3 periods, sorry, versus a 5% growth rate in the last year. Okay. Then we'll do a gross margin. So gross margin, this is, the first 3 are going to be pretty easy. We're just going to look at gross profit, operating profit, and net income. So gross profit divided by sales. Sales, not the tax. So there, 24%. And then the next one is going to be operating profit. So we look at EBIT, or operating profit, divided by sales. And the last one is going to be our net income divided by sales. Just like that. Okay, pretty easy. And now we're going to get into return on assets. Return on assets could be done pretty easy by net income divided by assets, but we're going to be a little bit more complex, right? A little bit more sophisticated. So we're going to take our EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate. So EBIT times, and then I'm going to do 1 minus the tax rate. And I know the tax rate is 0.36, okay, because I did the math on this earlier. And then I am going to close that bracket off, and I'm going to divide this by the average of total assets, right? So I go down here, total assets. I'm just going to take the average over 2 years, okay? A little shortcut, I type in AVG, it's going to pop up with an error. I'm just going to double click enter. See, bam. Wait a second, that's not the one I want. That's not the error I'm looking for. Average, huh. No, it should be right. I don't know what's. Huh. Maybe one more. Yes. There you go. Okay, so that's how that works. All right. So then the next one's going to be return on beginning equity. Sorry about that. Pause there for a second. I missed a parentheses. The next one's going to be return on beginning equity. So we're basically going to have our net income, right, divided by our beginning equity. Now look here at the bottom, and you see that we don't see what our beginning equity is. So what we do know is that in the balance sheet, all the items are reporting at the end of the year. So the end of the year 2006 will be the same as the beginning of the year 2007, so that's what we'll take. And that gives us our return on beginning equity. And then we have our return on invested capital. Okay, now this one is going to take the same thing in the numerator as we did in the return on assets, right? So this is our EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate. So one thing we can do is just highlight that, copy it, go back into, now we're editing this formula, and see, now we don't have to retype it. And now we're going to take the sum of all of our interest-bearing debt and equity. So what we basically need to do is go through and identify what is our interest-bearing debt. So that's going to be down here in the liabilities portion. So current portion of long-term debt here, of course we know that we're going to pay interest on it, comma, choose the next one. Accounts payable, nope. Accrued expenses, nope. Revolving credit to the bank, yes, probably. And long-term debt, of course, right? So now we have our interest-bearing debt, and then we just need to choose our equity, close that off, and there we have it. Our return on invested capital is 9.8%. And then we can move over to our final one, which is going to use the same denominator, right? Same denominator, that's the interest-bearing debt and equity. So again, we can cheat a little bit, and we will just copy this, the in portion, enter that in, right? And now all we have to do is go in and push the equal sign to start up the formula, insert our EBIT, right? And there we have it, 15.3%. And we could have gone back and just done that one at a time, right? I'm just showing you a couple of time-saving tricks. I mean, the formula is the same, it's just how we enter the formula into the bar, okay? And so now we've done it for 1 year, and that's pretty cool. We've done that pretty quickly, and we can now move toward basically just copying these to the right to see what they were in the other years. And that is just how simple it is to do some of your ratios. And we'll come back on the next video and look at the efficiency ratios, liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, and risk ratios, and then we'll come back into some other videos and discuss them a little bit. Okay, thanks for your time. See you soon.